Hey gang, welcome back to Gord Wilson's Baja Life. I'm Flash Gordon Wilson with Baja Life Realty, and today we have something really special. My parents moved to Mexico nearly 20 years ago, and they wanted to do more than just soak up the sun, enjoy the beautiful casual lifestyle here. They really fell in love with the Mexican culture, and they wanted to find ways to give back. In fact, I make a point with almost all of my clients of climbing up on a soapbox and encouraging everyone to learn the language, learn a little about the culture, and do what you can to give back to the community. So Katelyn has volunteered with an orphanage to teach dance, and one thing we all get involved with are the dogs. Mexico in general, and particularly here in La Paz, there is a stray dog problem. And this is a result of not enough of the local pets being sterilized, being spayed or neutered. So Bob Barker, rest in peace. You were on a great mission, sir. And this video is in part to honor the late, great Bob Barker. We are volunteering today with Baja Dogs Sterilizations, and that's BajaDogsSterilizations.org. Our good friend Linda DiMeglio sets up this campaign once a month, usually on a Sunday afternoon, and we operate with some amazing vets and scores of incredible volunteers. We all get together, and we do this as a free service for anyone who cannot afford to have their pet sterilized. Everyone loves their pets, Mexicans just as much as the rest of us, and so we feel so good participating in this campaign once a month. So here we are, and do what Bob Barker said, ladies and gentlemen, get your pet spayed or neutered today. So I'll introduce you now to Linda DiMeglio. Linda is the heart and soul of this entire campaign. She is the prime organizer. She's been putting her whole life into it for multiple years, and she is the expert that's going to tell us all about it. So why don't we start? Why don't you tell us about overpopulation of dogs in Mexico?
It's a huge problem. They estimate that there's 12.6 million street dogs that are living throughout the country of Mexico. Many of these dogs are owned by people, but they do live out in the street. They're not in contained environments, so the procreational problem is just astronomical. So PETA, for example, came out with a statistic that states that one unsterilized female dog and every generation after that are not sterilized can produce 67,000 dogs within 6 years. It's a large number. It's hard to wrap your head around. So when you consider sterilizing one dog, you could potentially stop that generational population growth.
So this program is to help the locals who don't necessarily have the means to go and proactively sterilize on their own.
Absolutely. The entire program was designed to go into communities where people can't afford to go to a vet. The misconception that so many people have is that these folks don't love their animals, and that is just not true. Plain and simply, they adore their animals. They just don't have the means to go. Sometimes they don't even have a vehicle. They will come to our campaigns with a wheelbarrow. I've seen them with broken down children's strollers, Heineken boxes, anything, the most creative way of getting their animals there. Some come with a telephone wire as a leash. It's really touching to know that they do go through all of these extreme efforts to get their animals to us. So that the need is there. We go out to the communities generally where people just don't have the means to get into a car and bring the animal to us.
That's been a really heartwarming element of all of this for me, is just seeing the love between people and their animals.
Absolutely.
It's pretty special.
And that's one thing that for years, with rescue that we worked with, is that people always assume that the locals don't care for their animals. And that is something that I'm trying to change the perspective, and that's not true.
So how did the campaign start?
Okay, so for 9 years, I volunteered for an organization called Baja Dogs La Paz. They were in business for approximately 18 years, and they worked with generally adoptions, rescue, that sort of thing. And for most of the 9 years that I volunteered for, that's what we did: adoption and rescue. So one of the things that I really wanted to focus more on was the root of the problem, like you mentioned, is the overpopulation and the sterilization program, an aspect of it all. So as of October 2021, we stopped working with the adoption and rescue portion of it and just dedicated our time to sterilizations.
So how does it work? How do the locals find out about the campaign and how do they sign up?
Okay, it's actually the locals that come to me. I've got an incredible group of volunteers that live throughout La Paz and all the different communities, and they tell me about the areas that are most need. So we go out and we look at it. We talk to directors of schools. That's generally where we hold our campaigns, in elementary schools or primary schools where we have electricity, access to a bathroom and water and that sort of thing. We go, the director opens up the school to us. We go and we publicize it. So we hang flyers within the community. I go door to door sometimes to talk to folks that don't even, see those kind of things or don't really have access to media, because Facebook is really where we promote it the most. Mm-hmm. But oftentimes people don't even have that. Mm-hmm. So we go into the communities and talk with them. And it's my volunteers that are my heart and soul. They go out and they speak to people, educate, bring folks together. We have a phone number that they call and they each make an appointment with their dogs. And then we go out with our vets. We bring all of our equipment. We set up anywhere. It could be in dirt. We will do it anywhere. We will set up all of our equipment and hold the campaign during that day for that community.
And how many sterilizations do you do on average each campaign? So
generally our large campaigns, we shoot for 100. In the summertime, like now, we keep it limited to about 60. Today, for example, we did 58. But in the summer or in the winter times when it's cooler and we're outside and the dogs are safer, we shoot for 100 in a day. Wow. We generally do just under 200 a month. Year to date, we're just under 1,400. Wow. And we're over 4,000 running. Mm-hmm. Wow.
A major contributor to the heart and soul of this campaign is Raquel. And Raquel's been volunteering for countless thousands of dogs and just does such an incredible job. And I love you for how much you love the pets.
Thank you, love.
What's your favorite thing about doing this?
I don't have any favorite thing, everything. I love it. I just love to come and contribute with my community. I just love to do it.
Well, we love you. Another amazing volunteer here at Baja Dogs Sterilizations is Leanne O'Leary, who happens to also be a realtor in La Paz, and she's a real big name on the map. Now, Leanne works in recovery, and why don't you tell us what that is here?
Sure. So once the dogs have had their procedure, they move them over to the recovery area where they're still under anesthesia. And sometimes they're there for an hour or two, and sometimes they're there for 15 minutes. It depends how they respond to the anesthesia. While they're there, we slip a leash on them. We flip them occasionally so that their lungs don't fill with fluids. We massage them.
Give them lots of love.
Cuddle them.
It sounds like a dream job.
Some of them get kisses. It's fun. It's very rewarding, and we love being over in recovery.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Probably my biggest inspiration for doing volunteer work and giving back to the community is this amazing lady right here, my mom, who I love. And my mom and dad started volunteering with Baja Dogs almost 20 years ago. First doing rescues and what do they call it? Rescatista, fostering. And now Mom has been a big part of the sterilization campaign for several years.
Using her nursing knowledge of scrubbing instruments.
There you go.
Lovely job.
So somebody must have told them, my mom or Katelyn, that I like cooking and cleaning and I'm super OCD. So the job I get almost every time is cleaning the instruments. And I really like it. It's very satisfying. So it's a bit of a family affair. This is my brother, Ian, also a realtor with Baja Life Realty, and our good friend, Kel. And they volunteer at the sterilization. What is it that you do most often for the campaigns?
Most often I transport the dogs or carry the dogs from anesthesia to grooming so that they can get shaved and ready for surgery to surgery. And then the most gratifying part, carry them from surgery to recovery. So I see the whole process, and it's the most rewarding thing I can imagine. It's great.
It's awesome. Thanks for joining us, Kel.
No,
This is your
it's
first
awesome.
campaign?
I love it. I love it. I've been hearing about this place for a long time, and when I came in to see it, it's such a nice, heartfelt feeling, you know?
Awesome.
It's so awesome.
This is Martine, and Martine is an amazing human being. He's been helping with this campaign for a long, long time. He does anesthetist work, he's a lifter, he's an organizer, but most importantly, he's the smiliest, happiest guy with the best attitude. Gracias por su servicio. Excelente, amigo. I'm here now with Dr. Mario. He is one of our amazing veterinarians. He's been attending the campaigns longer than I have, and he has a veterinary practice in El Centenario. It is El Centenario Veterinario. So Dr.
Yes.
Mario, thanks so much for everything you do.
Thank you very much for your interview. Hello. Well, yes, I'm just another part of this important chain of sterilization campaigns here in La Paz. It's supposed to be 15,000 animals in the streets today. So our job of each of us is very important. We must continue with these campaigns. Of course, it's very important. We're supposed to have in this moment like 3,500 animals spayed. So we are in the road of the change. That's what we all want.
Yeah, we're doing good work. Well, thank you for everything you do. We
My
appreciate
pleasure.
you.
It's my pleasure. Thank
He's
you very much
always
for your
one of
effort.
the awesome smiling faces that just brings so much optimism and
You hear?
positivity to the campaign. Thank you for
very
everything.
much. It's very important for me also. Thank you very much.
So I understand that you do advertising and marketing campaigns, but if somebody's not here and they still want to help this amazing cause, tell us.
Absolutely. So it's $25 to sterilize a dog. Our service to the people is free, but we do have to pay our vets. There's administrative costs, there's things like that, but it's approximately $25 per dog, and anybody can donate from anywhere. We have a 501c organization out of the United States. Baja Dogs Sterilizations.org is our website. Anybody can go and become a monthly donor and or do a one-time generation or donation, and or just come to our campaigns if you live locally. And we've got a Mexican organization as well called Baja Dogs Programa de Esterilización, where we can fundraise legally here on the ground. So we will be holding fundraisers here as well as in the United States.
Yeah, it's been a really fun part of it is to meet a ton of the different new volunteers that are here each month, both Mexican and the expat immigrant population coming to help volunteer. But if you're at home and you're watching this and you're not here, you're not in Mexico, you can't come and volunteer, pull out your wallet. Loosen those purse strings, folks. Help out. Every single penny is just really, really valuable and super needed. So thank you in advance.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.